Good morning. Today is March 28, 2017, and behind me is the beautiful city of Anaheim, California, home to this year's Student Television Network Convention and this special edition of CCNN Live. On today's show, even after its legalization in California, the use of marijuana still carries a stigma that plagues the cannabis community. And local businesses are fighting to cement their identities while creating an influx of jobs for residents of Anaheim. Later on, Gonzalo Londoño gives his insight in his segment, Final Thoughts. CCNN Live starts now. Even with its recent legalization, the use of marijuana brings with it a negative perception that causes both growers and consumers to fear unjust prosecution. Anthony Fernandez tells us more in his report, Misconception of Marijuana.
For more than 20 years, the medical marijuana industry has spread its roots across California. But just last November, Proposition 64 legalized the use of recreational marijuana. But some say this hasn't really changed anything. Candace Hawes is the executive director of NORML, an organization in Orange County that strives to legalize the use of non-medical marijuana. What movements have you gone about doing as an activist in the marijuana industry?
Our chapter of NORML gathered signatures to put a marijuana regulation initiative on the ballot. For a long time, people were opening collectives and they were getting raided, but they would open up the next day because they knew that people needed medicine. So if they were to remove cannabis from our state's economy, I think that we'd see the huge influence that we make.
In the first year that marijuana was legalized in Colorado, the state took in $53 million in tax revenue. California is 3 times as large as Colorado, largely increasing its potential to bring in commerce for the state's public institutions.
I have to imagine that there's just going to be more competition, and for me, it's got to come to a point where it's either grow this business or leave it.
We spoke to a local marijuana dealer in the area. Although he was willing to give his input, he requested his identity not be disclosed.
I spend like half my time like looking out the window thinking like, what's going on? I got the neighbors and they don't know.
But could this paranoia actually be justified? Sergeant Darren Wyatt of the Anaheim Police Department has seen the negative effects of marijuana use firsthand.
Research has already shown with the states that have already legalized recreational marijuana that there are a number of impacts, huge increases in the number of fatal traffic collisions involving impaired drivers. We've seen huge increases in homelessness, a ton of long-term impacts, not only to mention the fact that marijuana is considered a gateway drug.
We attempted to contact multiple dispensaries in the area, but we were declined access to film, showing even though recreational marijuana will be legalized in January of 2018, many businesses are still uncomfortable with the stigma their product carries. Reporting for CCNN Live, I'm Anthony Fernandez.
For behind-the-scenes look at this story and more, please catch our online show, STN Overtime. Stick around for more CCNN Live after this commercial break.
Man up!
Stop acting like a girl.
Quit being a baby.
Society says men are not supposed to cry, yet women can show their emotions without shame or fear of embarrassment. But suppressing feelings can lead to mental illnesses like depression and even suicide. Don't let society hold you back. If you need help, seek it. And remember, it's okay to cry.
Anaheim is known for its many tourist attractions, making it a hotbed for big businesses to make their fortunes. But small businesses have been left looking for a way to compete with these large conglomerates. Victor Prieto tells us more in his report, Leveling the Playing Field.
California has long represented the views and feelings of social justice, but Anaheim's small businesses are seeking to build jobs and industry here in the city, providing a sense of community and economic justice.
Small businesses really are the foundation of the business community here.
Mike Leister is the Chief Communications Officer of Anaheim, In recent years, he has seen the city provide opportunities for small businesses. What measures has the city taken to promote small business?
In 2011, our mayor led a regulatory relief task force. Now, perhaps the easiest one I can point to as a result of that effort are the craft breweries that we have here in Anaheim.
According to visitanaheim.org, the city is home to 10 breweries, including Unsung Brewery, which has been at the giving and receiving ends of social justice regarding small business.
Breweries are growing significantly. With that comes an influx of jobs. The larger we get and expand, the better it's going to be for the community.
And as small businesses strive for support, city employees like Leicester hope to extend equal possibilities for success.
So our first goal is to ensure a level playing field for everybody, an equal opportunity. We do our best just to treat everybody fairly and provide that same opportunity and hope that everybody can end up thriving.
As major companies continue to dominate in Anaheim, small businesses will continue to expand and strive for the same opportunities as their larger counterparts. Reporting for CCNN Live, I'm Victor Prieto.
As small business has begun to find its place in Anaheim, some people still argue that certain individuals are not receiving fair and equal treatment. Gonzalo Londoño tells us more in his segment, Final Thoughts.
As a country, we like to say we're tolerant and diverse, which for the most part is true. But if this is the case, why is it that fair and equal treatment for everyone is always a problem for us? Why is it that people of color are constantly being stereotyped as criminals and terrorists? It's a common misconception that people of color are behind most crimes causing damages, making them the bad guys of the community. But in 2010, according to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, roughly 107,000 more white people were arrested for burglary than black people. You would also think that the government would do something to stop this, but this war on drugs was created for one purpose only. Back in the 60s and 70s, John Ehrlichman, advisor to President Richard Nixon, said, "We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black. But by getting the public to associate white hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on evening news." And shockingly, he added, "Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did." Not everything in this country is equal, especially when it comes to law. According to the New York Times, black and white people smoke about the same amount of marijuana, but black people are 4 times more likely to be arrested for it. But let's get one thing straight. We're not bad people. If we could come together and be one nation the way this country was intended to be, we would be one step closer to becoming one world. I'm Gonzalo Londoño, and these are my final thoughts.
Well, that does it for today's show. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up with everything that's happening at STN 2017. From all of us here at CCNN, have a great convention.